and featuring a random scratch track from 2009. Me on the bass and my good homie playing my drum set. I'm not sure he knows what he's doing on my drum set over there, but I try to give him a drum solo here. I was playing bum ba dum ba bum and then waiting for him, but it was one of the most epic spontaneous jams. Just a couple homies where I play guitar and sing in a 3-piece band, a grunge band at that time, and in 2009 in Santa Barbara. And my homie was over here, the drummer, kind of like we were interviewing off of Craigslist, the drummer we met on Craigslist. And the bass player was like a friend of mine from junior college music, digital music recording classes with Dom Camardella, which is really cool. He liked to produce Depeche Mode and stuff, so it was really neat. But in the process of our little 3-piece band, our bass player took a call, left the room, and we were like, let's, just grabbed his bass and started, banging around on it, because I was always just disappointed with my bass player. He's always kind of like, keeping it real light and easy, and I'm like trying to push him. I'm like, let's go. So I just grabbed his bass and started just doing as much as I possibly could, just going full ADD on it. But anyway, that's a track. It's Drum and Bass, 2009 by n0vax and SS. And so not to dox my fellow homie there, unless he wants to later. I don't even know if he's on Doge Party. But these are uploaded. These tracks, some of my old ancient stuff is uploaded to Doge Party, and you can find it there by going to n0vax, or just go to dogeparty. Doge Party, DOGEPARTY xchain .io, and then that would take you to a search box where you can just type in n0vax, n0vax, and it'll bring up like a list of a lot of my old music. So anyway, I'm going to start BTalks. I'm going to start a lot of what I'm doing now with music that is not copyrighted, because I've had the experience now of doing an amazing interview with ETH on Art, Alex from ETH on Art. And I used a little AC/DC pump-up jams in the beginning and end. And once it syndicated over to YouTube, it got fully rugged, and like not even just like, oh, you can't monetize this, which obviously I don't care about because I don't monetize that anyway. It's like ridiculous. You don't get anything for it. And, unless you have millions and millions of viewers. And so I was like, all right, I just don't need this. I just don't this is my best interview. I think like it was a really meaningful one. It was a great one. And then boom, just cause it had some songs, and instead of being like demonetized or whatever, it was published. It was goner. And so I had to edit the video then on a machine that's not set up to do that, and like just kind of crop it down, and just, the whole point of this is to have a really easy, streamlined kind of a thing with the production pipeline. So with that said, thank you for coming and being a part of the spaces that that I am going to be doing kind of informally on behalf of BCard. You know what I mean? It's like a part of my personal decentralized initiative to support and grow the BCard community, and to really develop the social layer of the next part of this. We got our ENS domains. Now let's start, building the interactions and the communities on chain, so that we're not sitting around here waiting for Twitter or some other big tech platform to save the day or rug us, or our whole life doesn't depend on whether or not, some person buys the platform and rids it of its brokenness or not, and things like that. So with that said, I want to welcome to BCard, or ENS BTalks 0002. Okay, the second, technically it's the third one because we start with 0000. But 0002, ArtBandit, ENS collector, NFT collector, Web3 advocate, BCard number 343, solutions oriented, psychology buff, utopian idiot. Really awesome to have ArtBandit with us. I've been inviting you to speak. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the spaces, but you have to kind of accept. So eventually I'll run out of wind. It does happen. I know a lot of people haven't seen it happen, but eventually I will tire of things to say. And I will probably hope to have you up here to interview you. So let me know if you're having some issue with it, ArtBandit. Like if you want to get in my DMs and let me know if you're having some challenge accepting. I'm just hitting you up. Accept the Request. Cool. There you
Like,
go. What
hello.
is up, Art Bandit? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, how's it going, n0vax? Yeah, my name's Christian. I go by Art Bandit in the NFT space. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I think I told you a little bit. It's so great to meet you, Chris. And so I told you maybe a little bit. I'm not sure how much I said about what I'm trying to do with this kind of series or whatever, And so I'll just say that briefly. It's like looking at your B card number. I think I'm 272. I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken. And so I think we're still under 400. We might be pushing 400 now. I don't really know. Be cool to know. But it's a smaller community, right? It's not even crossed 500 yet, probably. And yet, do you feel as I do that we're onto something? This is going to grow. This is the future. It's inevitable, and it's not even like tokenized. It's not monetized yet. It's just about what it is.
Yeah, I'm actually relatively new and I still have a lot more to learn about B card, but I think it's an amazing idea where you can send out your B cards to people. They're updatable, so it's not going to be stuck with the same information you originally sent it out with. The community has been really awesome. They've sent me a bunch of messages. They've been very welcoming and friendly. And yeah, I'm curious to learn a lot more about it.
Well, I mean, I couldn't even begin probably to like educate you about it because it's basically like a process of self-discovery really. It's kind of like to me, I think getting onboarded to B card like you have been is kind of a process of like entering the metaverse. At least it should be kind of. And that's what the way I want to take it. So basically like the whole idea from what I can tell, and I just want to shout out some homies first. Um, Thank you so much, man. Is tennis for being here, and I love seeing you just straight up rocking is tennis more and more, like as your identity, because I think that we had talked about some is domains right around the time when you had registered that, and I just think it's really cool to see you running with that because I have a bunch of ises, and I think I have is metaverse, bro. I love is domains, and welcome Weavy. You're so like articulate and thoughtful in your comments, and so it's really nice to have you here. I can't wait till we get into our Q&A and we can really open it up. And then also my friend Starcadium is in the house with us, and I have just not seen Stuart for way too long, and we kind of like left a pin in some writing that we were doing a few months back, and so it'd just be awesome um, just to kind of pick up with you and see how you've been doing and everything too. So it's awesome. And Julio's in the house. Julio has some Julio has some friends and connections with some digital music. So I mean, the potential for us, see Julio, maybe you're rugging. The potential for us to use, some of Julio's buddies Latin music. He was saying there's some dope Latin music that's really well produced that he would be willing to put a word into the artist. See, hey, can we get some of your NFT music over to n0vax so we can use it on his opening and closing of his spaces and stuff. So that's the thing. I want to promote you if you're an artist making music. I want to have my spaces start off with your song and then say, hey, this, like I did with my track. That's the thing, I don't have somebody else's track, so I did it with mine today. But so what Art Bandit is saying about I'm not really sure exactly like what all is B card, and I think that's perfectly, like, none of us are. No, don't you think? Like, what we know about it is that right now, in order to talk to each other, I got to ask for Twitter's permission. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? If I want to be friends with Stuart, there's a trusted third party in the middle who gets to decide what our friendship is like. Could I talk to Stuart about something private or potentially offensive or potentially like against the standard perceived paradigm of what is like misinformation and not, or whatever like that? No, like, flat out no. If I want to have a friendship with Weavy, that's all about our shared love of like some political movement that we're a part of or something, is that going to happen? Am I going to be protected and safe to have that relationship here, or will a trusted third party tell me that I'm a bad guy and I can't have that friend here? You know the answer. So
Mhm.
I don't want that anymore. Do you?
Not at all.
I don't know who does. That's the thing. I haven't found anyone who said, I want it. I want a nanny in all of my relationships, governing what I can say and what I can think. And that would be so helpful because I'm so offended and fragile that I must have a nanny. And I think that's kind of part of this. That's a part of the oversensitivity that's happened with Web 2 and the polarization and things. So there's some of that. Definitely there's some of that. Um, but generally speaking, I think like that's what B card represents to me. I wrote my thesis in 2017 when I was finishing my undergrad in tech entrepreneurship and management from Arizona State, and I wrote my thesis on blockchain social media as a means of preserving freedom of speech. I think that's like the actual name of my thesis, and I wrote that, and I was interested in that at the time because I was doing some kind of activism work and I was being censored, um and it was like it wasn't even my voice. I wasn't even saying things. I was recording other people who had been injured, who had been harmed, who were saying this was a bad thing and it didn't go well for me, and we were being censored. And I was like, this is so unconscionable that people don't even have a voice to say I had received this pharmaceutical product and it crippled and injured me like immediately, and then when they tried to just put that message out to the airwaves, they were totally silenced. And at that point I said, we must have robustness of freedom of expression, because at this moment we could be facing like real tyranny. Like people could just kick down your door and like black bag you, put you off in Guantanamo. And like there's just, if you said that, oh, I was black bagged in Guantanamo, you had your brother post on Twitter, like there's nothing, that there's no self-corrective mechanism anymore when we can't even talk to each other. And that was the thing for me. What really drew the line, I was DMing somebody a video that was unlisted. Do you know what I mean? Like I literally uploaded a video, it was unlisted, that was a personal testimony of a person's experience with the pharmaceutical product that went poorly for them. I DM'd it to my friend, and the DM was blocked. It was like, you cannot send this medical misinformation via direct message. It was at that moment, Chris, that I said, hell no, I'm out. I closed all my conventional centralized social media and I started, mining Ethereum and hoping that this day would come. So for me, B Card
Absolutely.
Talks is the fulfillment of all that.
Yeah, if I could for a moment, n0vax, there's a talk that I really like on YouTube called What Exactly is Web3 by Juan Bennett. And he makes a good point. One of my major concerns is it's the algorithms, the way that it basically, these Web 2 companies, what they're really farming is your engagement. And one of the things that creates the most engagement are things that make you afraid, things that make you angry. And I think that's one of the major reasons for the huge amount of polarization that we're seeing in our society nowadays. It are these algorithms which create major filter bubbles. Whatever makes you most mad, whether it's your feed on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, that's what the system keeps showing you. And all you see are the worst things, on one polar end that makes you and your identified tribe most angry, and it creates a really crazy and divisive world. And that's really what bothers me the most.
I love your perspective on it, man. Thank you for sharing that. So cool to meet somebody like you. I really am glad that everyone who I seem to be meeting in the B card community has a sort of conscious mind for this, the importance of this. And so that's what B card is to me, is this. Right now I can be rugged. Right now our friendship relies upon a trusted third party, and they're not trustworthy. YouTube, Twitter, wherever, and even Telegram and Discord. And so I think what's necessary now is to understand that what B card really is. And what B card is like, I have a ENS domain. That's my self-sovereign digital identity. But I also I also have actions that I do for, with that wallet address that's associated with that. I might, meet people. And when n0vax meets Weavy, n0vax, just meets the first time, and Weavy just meets n0vax the first time. Those those interactions are easy to forget. You're going to change your Twitter name. You might change your handle. You might get rugged. You probably will. And so the point is, if you exchange an on-chain business card, You've got like right in your immutable wallet a list of all of your friends. Your friends list just became immutable, and there's no trusted third party. It's just as a scalable SVG, and it's fully on chain. It's not even the metadata is not even in some third party nonsense. It's all
Right.
there. So I love that.
Absolutely.
So what's your vision for what's next? Like, I would like to know about you now. We talk a little bit about B card. That's what B card is in its core. Obviously, there's B paper. Once you have 50 B card, you're able to write B paper. I think it's up to like 1,400 characters, which is enough to do a little. You could say something there. So I wonder like, and then there's the on cyberspace too. So B card is also basically, as I know it, and I'm sure there's others. There's meta trekkers, there's other um, what do you call them, like guilds, metaverse guilds. But as far as I'm aware, and as far as I've experienced, B card represents the largest, most robust, most engaged, highest net worth, highest, just selection bias for intelligence and awesomeness kind of community, and possibly one of the first, if not the first of its kind, having built on cyber.io /GM coffee and on cyber.io /station and on cyber.io /station 2. And with all of these domains, like these on cyberspaces, there's like portals to the individual. So it's like the stations are literally, it's like a cluster of portals out to the individuals, to the B card individuals on cyberspaces. And hanging above your portal is your B card minted, right above your portal. So it's like a door with your name on it. And you go to a station and you're standing in the midst of like what is a it doesn't look like a train station or anything, but it's basically like a metaverse hub to all of these individual B card holders, museums and things. So that part of it is really cool. Have you gotten a chance to spend much time within the on cyberspaces at all?
No, I haven't. I've been eager to jump in there. As you know, I just recently moved off grid, which is a very drastic change for me. It's very new, exciting. I've been totally wrapped up in that. I have been telling people, all these really friendly people that have been messaging me, that I mean to jump on cyber very quickly once I'm settled, which I am now. But yeah, I was curious to hear a little bit more about when you guys gather on there and what it's like.
Yes, I've only been really experiencing a couple of them now, but it's like in my recurring calendar. Hey, Diamond Hand. Hey, the Dask. I starting to reach a place where I really appreciate my friends in the space, and when they roll in, I'm like just genuinely excited to see you. So, what's up, Niftyverse as well? Really glad to have everyone here. So we're talking B card. We're doing these B card interviews. As far as the spaces go, I mean, it's 2 p.m. Pacific. So what is that, 5 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. UTC. But it's every single day for a couple of hours, usually like from 2 to 4. And try to imagine it like office hours, or like during COVID, a lot of people were working from home, and you would have these like business call, like non-topical, non-specific business calls where everyone's just on Zoom together at the same time, like just in case, you had something to talk about. It's
Yeah,
kind of like that a little bit. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
So like the vibe is kind of like you're running around the space, you have audio, so you're jumping around the space. And some days there's lots of people, a few people, usually it's the core people, 008, 54, and Jade Rose and 38. There's a few people in there who are like frequently there, always chilling. um, and there's an art gallery that is kind of newer, where if you're a B card holder and also you're an artist, then you can exhibit your art in the gallery, and you can sell there, and there's auctions there. So it's that part is fun and cool. I have some art that I would like to exhibit that I've not created, and some that I have created. And so I'm looking forward to that. But more than anything, um, the B card like social layer to me is what I'm preoccupied with. I'm really preoccupied with this aspect of abandoning some of these older tech. And I think like this, I think Twitter Spaces will be here for a while, for a long, and I think it will evolve into something more Web3. Depending on who's running the ship. But I anticipate that there'll be like transitions and changes as opposed to just like where MySpace and Facebook are basically like crumbling. I think some of the other iterations of big tech are going to say, hold on, we don't want to crumble like that. We're going to try to adapt in one way or another. We'll get signing with Ethereum. We'll try and do something. So hopefully that maybe that stuff does happen. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. But I guess my question for you would be, um, if you're spending time in the metaverse, like what do you want to be achieving there? Like what sort of interactions would make you like IRL life is kind of nice and you're off grid, so you're the kind of person you're not trying to be plugged into the matrix all the time. So I'm curious for you, like what for you is the thing that makes you want to enter the metaverse? What experiences and things do you want to see there?
Well, I do actually plan on being plugged in to the spaces that I want to be. I mean, I'm in a much more natural environment now, very low stress, very quiet environment, which is very soothing, honestly. I'm out of the hustle and bustle, and like every day that goes by, I'm slowing down. I feel less like a compulsive need to, I don't know, to do something. I can actually relax and find my own interests, my own intrinsic motivations. Um, I absolutely am interested in meeting more artistic people. I'm hoping, I go by Art Bandit. I have been very artistic myself throughout my whole life, within many different, what am I trying to say? Genres, many different mediums. But that has died over the years due to stress and just things I had to do to get by and everything. So I'm actually hoping this new phase will be somewhat of an artistic renaissance for me. I am huge on Web3 as well. So I would just really love to meet people in the space with similar values. I'm huge on ENS. I think it has a very bright future. I'm curious to meet the other artists within the B card community. And I will be plugged in constantly as well now. I'll be at all these events, all these Twitter spaces. So that's my plan.
Right on. I mean, it's really special. Honestly, I wish that I could have the off-grid life right now. I have a disability that makes that not possible for me. My back is just kind of wrecked, so I really can only lift like a glass of water, and even that's a stress for me. So I'm basically like I'm unable to have that vision come to fruition for my personal life. I've fantasized about it though, and I've been shopping tiny houses for the last years before my disability progressed this way. But for me, that's part of my interest in the metaverse. Well, that's why I mention it too, is because I live most of my life now. In the last months, it's kind of my disability has gotten like a kind of rapidly snatching my mobility. So I'm kind of like living on my belly, which is sort of like, I don't know what to say about that. It's really it's humiliating and it's limiting. And even a wheelchair would be nice, but it's like that wouldn't solve my problem. I have spinal degeneration, so being in an upright position hurts really bad, and I don't want to
Oh
take
my
like
gosh.
a bunch of like opiates or something. I just don't take any of that stuff for it. I just don't want to have kids, and I just want to stay pure minded as much as I can with it. So I think the metaverse for me personally, it actually represents something, a place I would never go voluntarily. So first I will say that I am a surf bro. I'm a freaking grunge music artist. I'm what I'm saying? Like I'm actually like I'm a documentary maker. I like putting my hands in the dirt. I like, I don't like hiding in I never played video games and stuff like that. Like I'm a gamer, right? As a kid, I played all my Nintendo like an addict, but I didn't like, as an adult, I didn't like spend all this time gaming. So basically, I'm finding myself in this interesting position now, Chris, where I'm like, I don't really even care what's in the metaverse. Like, I don't even care too much about the experience necessarily. I mean, it's obviously if it's terrible and awful, I don't want to be there. But I'm finding that I, strangely and unpredictably, I actually do. I think I get engaging my mind in the metaverse. Actually, it helps me to deal with some of the frustrations and limitations of my physical IRL life, and so that was unexpected.
Yeah, didn't you say that did you say you had some kind of experience with off-grid living, or was it just that you were into searching for tiny homes and stuff?
Well, I mean, to an extent, yes. Like I grew up on some acres,
Oh, okay.
and so like country life. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to set mouse traps and things, and I know how to run a chainsaw like well better than most people should and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely am that sort of a bro. I got like a freaking 6 inch long grizzly black beard, and I'm kind of a NorCal bro. You know, that's who I am.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I didn't really ever like survival mode off grid. But let's just say my friends grow. I know some people who grow some things, and they got to survive out in the cutties with without.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. So there's a lot of artists in this space, apparently, right? You're obviously a musician. Is that the extent of, is it mostly music for you? And who else are the other artists, and what kind of art do they create within the B card community?
So right now there's a lot of static, and then let's go to Ryder too, because it sounds like he might have a question for you, and we're gonna interview Ryder for a B talk later too. So it's awesome, Ryder. But yeah, let me answer your question first. The art is primarily static 2D NFT art, and it's some of it's just really, really quite special, and it's impressive. But also, I guess what I would like to see would be some more like animated video, stereoscopic audio. So there's not a lot of music and not a lot of motion graphic type of things happening within the B card art community yet. And then to answer your question about my personal art, I would say my I'm most skilled as a musician. I'm most trained as a musician. I sing, I play guitar, ukulele, bass, drums, pretty much everything. I played in
Very
orchestra,
cool.
jazz band. So I just like music. You know what I mean? I could pick up an instrument, except for woodwinds. I can't touch a damn woodwind. I can't play a saxophone. I can't play even a recorder hardly to save my life. I just don't. I never occurred to me, like it never made sense to me why you would want to have to do like a whole 10 finger fingering to play one damn note, when on a piano you could play. I was like, why are we doing this? Like, what? So anyway, I never had the patience for it, but on a guitar for sure, I'm like, all right, let's get down.
Hey,
Now,
by the way, Novak, real quickly,
yeah.
do I sound okay? I'm using a new Bluetooth headset. I don't know how clearly I'm coming through. Is it coming through all right?
No, I think it is actually really good, honestly, for me. Everyone else here are able to hear Chris all right? You're getting some emojis. Yeah, I think it's good. It's so nice to
Okay,
have
excellent.
a solid headset, that works for you, but it sounds like that one is doing the trick. Yo,
For
so
sure. All right.
I basically I don't have anything that's recorded well. All my recordings are like crap sounding from a decade ago. And so I think a lot of what's happening for me with Web3 and for a lot of other people is that we're sort of like my friend Griff is the same way. He's got all this epic photography over the years. And we are into like 30s and 40s, and we're trying to figure out like what were we doing? We were reaching toward a goal. We were trying to attain an aesthetic or an auditory, art that maybe we didn't reach at that time. Didn't fulfill. So there's a lot of unfulfilled dreams in Web3. And my hope is that it's a perfection for a lot. It's an opportunity to put the kind of capstone on our arts. And I don't know which way I want to go because I've also done a lot of documentary making. I was co-created part of a really successful documentary series a few years ago. And so I can edit film. I love editing film. I also, if you look at Exchange, if you look at dogeparty.xchain.io and you type in Babelfish, Babelfish, you see all of my
Mhm.
motion graphics art, and I do.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I do like alpha channel stuff where like I take like alpha channel videos of smoke and fire, and I'll kind of mask out around like a piece of 2D art that maybe like a motorcycle, and I'll do like flames coming out of the exhaust pipe, or audio, and with audio of the motorcycle revving. Even though it's a static image, it's kind of like a hybrid between like a motion graphic and a static image. So I kind of work with artists to create a storyboard as a creative director, and we generated like a dozen of these that I came back over and did like audio production and motion graphic production. So that's I'm more of a collaborative multi-medium artist, and I've never been a person who like was out here with my own brand pushing myself as an artist, because I just, other than my music back in the day, I've been a dad since then, and I don't really have I like championing other people. Do you know what I mean? I prefer like interviewing you and getting to know about you and celebrating your art than I don't believe in myself as much as I believe in other people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I hear that. Yeah. Yeah, and my buddy out here actually off grid, he's actually got his own production company as well. He's a video editor. He does some quality stuff, from music videos to weddings to, I mean, all kinds of stuff. But that's awesome to hear. I love motion graphics as well. I never delved into that myself, but I'd love to. I've started dabbling with some video editing. I do actually have a YouTube channel with like 10,000 subscribers. I don't actually talk at the camera. I just upload thought provoking clips from documentaries and lectures and stuff. But I'm
That's
really
awesome.
interested in, yeah.
I mean, that's really awesome. How long have you been building that following?
It's been about 10 years. So, I mean, as far as myself as an artist, I've always been highly inclined towards art. Always been a deep thinker and kind of sensitive kind of person. I started out with drawing and painting. Then I moved into photography. Then I went to school for graphic design. And then I did some music production. I started doing some ambient electronic music within Fruity Loops and Reason and Ableton. And then more recently, I've learned about video editing for my channel. And my channel has been going for like 10 or 11 years now, probably.
I'm so impressed with all of that, man. It's really useful stuff. And if you need help with video editing in Premiere Pro, if you're using Creative Cloud Premiere Pro at all, I'm like straight up like well familiar with some of the cool tools in there. And I
Oh, yeah.
can help you with that potentially
And are
if
you
you'd like.
doing the motion graphics? Is that mostly After Effects that you usually use, or is that Premiere Pro as
I'm
well?
able to get away with a lot in Premiere Pro. Like I sort of increasingly drifted away from After Effects because I have a style that I can kind of get, you know what I mean? Like I don't need all the deep. I don't do a lot of like 3D and stuff like that. But
Right, right, right.
generally speaking, though, I think it's advisable to be skilled with After Effects. It's definitely meant, for that. So I would learn After Effects if I were you. But me personally, I did a lot of my masking just right within just like opacity mask, and then just click on like the square or the circular opacity mask, and then just start laying down keyframes to mask around whatever complex shape object you're trying to motion graphic around, and that works
Yeah,
pretty well.
absolutely. Right on. So, who else in the community are artists that you respect, and what kind of art do they do, if you don't mind me asking?
That's awesome, man. I mean, shoot, like I love it all, and I'm not familiar with it all. Like everything that I've seen has been interesting, and but the thing is, it's a lot of it's very abstract, which is a surprise to me too. It's kind of cool, but you should go to oncyber.io GM coffee. Okay, I'll put it right
Oh,
down here on the chat really quick so everyone can go there, and you can go there on mobile. And then Ryder, we're gonna take the hand. So let's. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting so long. So I'm putting in on cyber.io
.io.
/GM, like good morning, and then coffee, COFFEE. And then I'm tweeting that in the little comment here on the space. Now, after now it's tweeted, I'm going to pin it to the top as well. So it's double, triple there. If you check out this on Cyber, you'll see all this art in here. A lot of it is exhibited right from other, right. It's not like made by on Cyber or by the B card community necessarily, even though some of it is. I don't know the URL for the room that 54 and Jade Rose set up with Rose Jade set up with the B card art auction. It's like a RTKFT kind of a space. It's one of the more expensive spaces. It's really nice. It's kind of small in size, but I don't know the link to get there directly. But if you go to GM Coffee, there's probably a portal there, and if not, go to oncyber.io /station. And Station probably has a portal out to the art gallery. At least if you go to one of those locations and hit F on your keyboard, the back portal open, then that might help you. I'm a little confused with the navigation aspect on that end, but Ryder, thank you so much for hanging with us, and I can't wait for our chat later on. And yeah, join the convo, man. Did you have like a question or comment?
Yeah. Hi everyone, James. Nice to meet you guys. I've actually, first of all, the art in the GM coffee is like great. I love it. It's actually funny to hear you both guys. I'm actually, I was a graphic designer for nearly 10 years. Just in the recent years, I moved on to development. It's always great to meet people who love to create and art bandit. What like you said earlier, when you started with that, and then you teach yourself how to edit, and then with the Fruity Loops, and uh, it's like so remind me like many things that I've done in my past out of passion to just create something, and
Mhm.
it's like yeah, shout out for that. I did wanted to comment about your question, Novax, about the metaverse. Now I'm not speaking specifically about Bcard, which seems like a great thing for artists, but the way that I look at metaverse in general, so there are a couple of points that I do want to drop out about that. The first thing, I'm sure like most of you, when you were young, your social life was way wider than the children's of today. Let's say this way. Like I remember myself like going around with many friends and playing soccer and like just running on streets and with bikes and whatever. And these days you see it less and less and less as the years go by and the technology is developed, and more people are actually finding themselves nearly socially isolated. So this is the first point that I do want to make out, and the second thing, let's say this way, about I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe even more, I used to play Counter Strike. Yeah, I'm sure you're all familiar with that, CS 1.6. Uh, um, we used to have like ventrilo servers, which is basically just to speak
Yeah.
with each other during the game, but we used to spend so much time over there even if we weren't playing. And why this is another point that I see very connected to the metaverse thing is because the way I see the metaverse is just a place, an easy place where all the experience of any kind of entertainment is actually come together. And in that way I will be able to find myself with many other people with similar interest and with like same vision in mind. And I think this is what like will get me into the metaverse. And just to give a small example for that, I'm not sure if it will arrive to that eventually, but for example, now I'm part of one project that is the whole thing about it is gathering and creating community for motorsport lovers. And ever since I joined, we don't do so many spaces or anything like this, but we do play and many games and many things, and most of the conversations are actually around those topics of motor racing, whether it's a MotoGP or Formula One. And I think in that point of view, once we will be able to share experience in a metaverse, let's say for example the current one that we have, the sandbox. Okay, so we are able to race each other, and we are in the same time able to I don't know, do some trivia challenge for racing topics, and just to meet and gather as people who love the same thing and got the same interest. So I think this is like what will bring everyone, all these 3 points I made together, it what will brings everybody into the metaverse eventually. And one last thing is, obviously most of us, if even if we don't really like see it on ourselves, but we do already spend so much time, let's say even shopping. When was the last time that you have been in the mall to shop other than like order it online? Now, I don't know what are you doing at the moment, but years ago, it was way more. I used to see way more people like going like with many friends to the shopping mall to shop like together. And you go out with your friends and you ask how is this shirt, and she asks how is this dress, and so on and so forth. And what the metaverse will also enable us, it will actually enable us, for example, to shop together. So I will be able to come with Novax to one of the metaverse stores and show him, oh, look at this item. What do you think of that? So this whole social interaction it will actually be bigger than it is today. So I don't see it as getting off grid, but the other way around, we are going on grid, but with everybody. This is the way I see the metaverse. And yeah, thank you.
Ryder, I can't wait to talk with you more. Now I'm really fired up on the conversation that we're going to have later on today. I'm assuming that we're still on board for that. I'm looking at my calendar right now, and I have the B Card Metaverse meeting from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific, as I mentioned, and then later on, B Talk with Ryder at 5 p.m. And that's right at the time that the Moonbats community does their regular hangout too. So, and also at the
I
time.
would, by the way, would love to hear some more details about the B card, because in first glance it does seem very, very interesting. The GM Coffee link that you mentioned, I would love to get some more details about it. I would obviously read it myself as well, but I would love if you can like say it in a few words the way you look at it.
Sure, absolutely. And Art Bandit, I'm so grateful for you being our guest today and getting to know you. I want to really trek with you, man. I want to take you around to my metaverse spots that I like to go to. One of them is what Ryder's talking about. Obviously, that GM Coffee spot is hot. But you got to know the specific link to get there correctly. So that's an important thing to say first in response to you, Ryder, which is that in order to actually get the audio and and be able to join in the group audio, you need to go to it's like oncyber.io / GM Coffee, and it's like equals question mark from station. So hopefully that's correct. But if not, just go to the B Card page. Ask around on the Twitter page. Type in B Card in Twitter. You'll find us at B Card. And so the whole thing though is that we do have audio in there, and the on cyber audio is pretty good.
I just got it. I was just going around the room and got into some room which have a sign say B card start here. And once I'm in front of him, this is what I hear. Yeah, I get some music in there. That's great. Lol, awesome.
Yeah, so on cyber, it's a great thing about on cyber that's really easy to deal with music experience and audio experiences, because there's a very clever tool. It's like a proximity slider. Okay, the UI is so clean, dude. It's just a proximity slider. So any of the frames, you can hang a MP3 NFT asset or an MP4 NFT asset, and you can then turn on, enable the audio, and then you can drag the proximity slider, and so the volume will increase the closer you get to it, based on that. So that's a fun thing. And within on cyber, where you are there, like what it is and stuff, to me, it represents something quite serious. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, Art Bandit. 3-dimensional websites. Now, it sounds kind of silly, right, to say that. It's like, what are you talking about? But this is the first place that I experienced what I'm calling a 3-dimensional website. I'm sure there'll be another name for it later. But basically what it is like the Q&A, the FAQ for B Card, because B Card, everything that we do on B Card, B Card is on Polygon. Everything scales really good. You get like $3 a B Card, you're good for months. Or $3 of Matic. And so you basically have this very efficient scaling of transactions supported there, where we can send business cards. We can there's a lot of things you can do on Polygon because of that. And so we're doing it a lot on directly on chain as well. So it's kind of an invitation for people to get away from like the OpenSea storefront contract stuff and get away from the super lazy minting. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, don't get us rugged with copyrighted music, Art Bandit. I had to mute you, Art Bandit. I seriously did get a video rugged for playing copyrighted music the other day, so I have to be careful with it. But it's definitely like a 3-dimensional website. It's a real thing. I mean, it's a real experience. You basically, what we have going on in B-Card is you need instructions. That's why I brought this, kind of tying these things together. It's a little complex to explain it, but you require some FAQ, some reminder. How do you go to the Polygon scan contract again? How do I even get there? Okay, well, go to OpenSea, look at your B card. Okay, it's in there, right? So click on your B card that you received from somebody or your own if you've already minted one, and then you can click on the contract address. Boom, you got the Polygon scan link for where you interact with the contract for B card. Perfect. Okay, there's a read write function on there. Connect your wallet to it. Okay, what write function do you want to do? Okay, it's function 4. Okay, that's whatever it is. I want to check how many B cards I have. I want to check how many B cards I've sent. I want to mint more of them. I want to change the way my name displays on my B card, which you can do. All that stuff. So, and it's really like quite intuitive and simple, honestly. Once you read the FAQ, once you kind of have done it a few times, it's just like painfully easy. It sounds kind of difficult if you're a newbie and you're hearing what I said. It's like, what? Like that sounds like programmer stuff. It's not. It's not. Okay, it's like a little text box, so you just put the number in and push enter. It's simple. So, what the GM coffee and the station represents to me is like when I came up on the FAQ on the wall and I experienced the FAQ in 3D, that was it. Like that, it all clicked for me. That's when I said, okay, I don't need to message somebody or go on Twitter and try and find out, how do I do this again? Because I had been doing that. I was messaging my friends who are B card holders. How do I mint more of these? How many do I need to have for this and that? And then all of a sudden, it was like there was no website built, but it was like there is an OnCyber gallery where those instructions, those FAQ items have been minted as Polygon assets so that they can be hung on the wall of an OnCyber gallery, which then transforms that 3-dimensional space into like a 3-dimensional website where you're reading the FAQ right on the wall. So ArtBandit, have you had the experience of that yet? And by the way, I sent you your B card just now while I was rambling all that time. That's part of the reason why it took me a little while to finish up that. But your B card has been sent to ArtBandit from n0vax. And yeah, I'm stoked to know you. And I think I did maybe I muted you, so maybe I should just unmute you still or something. I don't know. I'm sorry for that. I don't know if you're just jamming some vibes or if you didn't know that you're unmuted or something. But try and join the combo again. ArtBandit, throw some hearts. Get back in here with us. We did have a spammer earlier on the 24-hour club space. That was fantastic, by the way. If you're having connection issues right now, you could try to click on your profile and choose leave, go to speaker, or there you go. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I had no idea what happened. I thought that music just came through the GM Coffee site. Is that not likely or something? Because I was just browsing through that on Cyber, the GM Coffee on Cyber, and the music just came.
Oh, it's from there. Oh, definitely it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to bump music or something all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, my gosh. Dude, I'm so I feel ridiculous. I didn't realize that was just going down.
Oh, no. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. But that is
that we could hear it.
Very cool. And I really do like the idea of obviously a 3-dimensional website where, I mean, it's immersive and it's a gathering place, where you can actually get to know people while you're learning about B cards or whatever it is. I think that's awesome. I mean, I have my Quest, what's it called? The Oculus out here. I think that absolutely, obviously, is the future. And I love that idea.
I need to bring you, now that we've had this conversation, and now that I know that you have an Oculus, I need to bring you into the alt space, because these spaces are awesome and they're lightweight and they're accessible with OnCyber. But the alt space XR, like the alt space, VR stuff is like it's Microsoft's platform. So first off, it's not decentralized, right? So that's the first an obvious criticism of it. But the point is that it's a taste of kind of where this is going with like the deeper level of, I mean, inside of those spaces, my friend has a penthouse, and my other friend has a few like mansions that are made by NFT Oasis and some of the other big builders of alt space VR. And bro, with your Oculus, like you're like shooting fireworks, you can like graffiti on walls, you're flying
Oh,
around,
yeah, yeah.
and there's no
I've done
lag.
stuff like that. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we'll go into the, you said it's Microsoft owned. We'll go into it. We'll do our homework. We'll figure out how to create the decentralized version. But yeah, that sounds like tons of fun.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and some of the people who are in those spaces, they are very much for the decentralized version of all this. So like Will O'Brien from NFT Oasis, he's definitely like building in that direction. And the other thing about this is that those hybrid spaces, those are like kind of transitional spaces, and all this stuff obviously will be linked together, just like websites. I mean, that's how it is. Are there URLs to go to these, on cyber.io/GM coffee and everything. So the idea that it would just be like a web of three-dimensional spaces that you can enter. And like what Ryder was saying about the commercial experience of it, I'm selling I'm selling three-dimensional assets with which have unlockable augmented reality experiences associated with them. A link to our amazing XR AR where you can take any of our 3D assets and you can put them on your kitchen table or in the
What?
street, or you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
cool.
it's really fun. So check those out too, and I'll send you one right now. By the way, I think I still got your Addy on my clipboard, and I have like tons of these for giveaways. So I'm going to start doing this as a part. I'm going to send you a B card, and then I'm also going to send you one of our incredible AR assets so that you can play with it, because it's seriously like the funnest thing, and I would love for you to have some of these. So let me just ask you first though, which one you would want, because that is going to be fun. So it's called Busted, Bust 3D, like busted with a 3. So if you
Okay.
search OpenSea for Bust 3D, you should see there's Greek Bust 3D. That's not us. We may not be. We just like opened this collection like days ago. It's kind of like a trial thing, we're like exploring this.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have better luck actually going to my page or refreshing out of here. So hang on. Why don't we go to questions while I try and get this dialed up? Ryder,
Sure.
Dask, Stewart, Meta World Peace. If you guys want to jump up, any questions for Art Bandit, aka Chris, who is an artist and off grid, peaceful living sort of a soul. He is very
Humanitarian.
yes, a humanitarian, an artist.
Psychology buff.
Oh, we should have talked about that more. I know a thing or two of
Yeah.
too. I'm a big Milgram and Zimbardo student. So
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I
I
had to
got
take.
tons to talk about in that way, but yeah, maybe next time. I could talk for a long time about tons of topics.
Let me just tell you right quickly before we go to Stuart. My wife worked at one of the largest licensures of clinical psychologists in the admissions side of things for a number of years early in our marriage before she got her doctorate. And during that time,
Oh, yeah.
she was like, we're learning about countertransference and how to identify like potential risk vectors with the applicants. And it was funny though, because, throughout that process, like I had these random occasions to meet some like really influential psychologists. Like there was a staff party where Zimbardo was like walked in the room with like a lady on each arm. And it was like the whisper in the room was that he was always like basically showing up at these like psychology academic events and things with like multiple female guests.
What? Zimbardo?
Yeah. So
He's not a playboy, but that's awesome.
I thought it was funny. Like, yeah, it was like, is he like this kind of like, I imagine him as this like total like playboy kind of character.
Psychology pimp daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Like with like a boa around his neck and a cane or something. Just like, yeah, Zimbardo's
Right.
like, I'm in the house. I'm the most revolutionary psychologist. You don't know what I did to those kids in that Stanford prison experiment. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. Anyway, what's up, Stu? How you doing, man?
No, just sorry to cut you off. I need to cut off for a while. hit me up when you run the second space. One last thing before I forget it. You talked earlier about your back pain. Well, unfortunately, I do have a similar condition. I can recommend one thing that helped me personally. Uh, this is
Please.
something quite new, as far as I know. This is Celsius carbonate. This is like the name of it. It turns out um, some company found a way to actually um, allow your body to get more Celsius and keep it better. So it actually can fight instead of any antibiotic or anything like this. I believe they are totally natural. I do need to think on it to check it out again. But if you are interested, their technology is also like mind blowing. They've actually like discovered this thing from the blue cancer, which turns out that he grows new organs like in instantly, like in a day or two or even less, like once
Oh,
something is dead.
wow.
So
Wow.
they've actually found a way to extract this and this is just like pills that you take daily, and they are great for many things, and back pain and general pains in like bone pains are like a huge thing of part of them. So if you want to check it out, it's called Amorphicure. This is what I use. Yeah, that's all. I see you later.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you. I cannot wait to talk with you later. And I messaged you for the spelling already. I DM'd you what, so we'll definitely let's get on that, because listen, guys, I'm gonna be straight with you all here because you're my friends and this is about getting to know each other. I just had my wife and I just had our third child. He's 3 months old, and I am 36 years old. For 10 years, I've had a really bad chronic debilitating disease, but in the last 3 years, I've worked from home. I do my investment thing. I turned $500 into $50,000 in that time, by the grace of God. And but then I have this issue. It's just getting worse, and there's no real hope for me. It's kind of like it's like an immune dysfunction or potentially like a Lyme disease, like co-infection complication or something, or like a broken immune system from a tick bite or something. It's really not understood. When I try to get help, it's just expensive and empty, empty doors, closed doors. Like, oh, we could take a picture of your back on an MRI. It costs, a couple $1,000s, and we could tell you nothing. So I don't want to just complain about it, but it's a really truly unfortunate circumstance to be blessed with so much, and to have this like desperately limiting thing, just like taking my ability to play basketball with my kids, taking my ability to like stand on my own 2 feet. In fact, one of my favorite songs I've taught myself recently was Ve'afilu be'astara. It's a Hebrew lyric song, and it says, ואפילו בהסתרה שבתוך ההסתרה בוודאים גם שם נמצא השם יתברך. And then the chorus, so it's like even in a dark place, even when you're hidden, like even hidden within, even in a concealment within a concealment, surely you're there. So that has given me hope. And then the chorus is I stand. So it's like Ani Omed, Ani Omed, Ani Omed. And so that part of it is just like meaningful to me. And so I want to stand. I want to stand again. I want to be on my feet. I can stand right now. I'm standing, but I can hardly stand or sit for more than a few minutes at a time before I have to go flat on my belly again. It's the point where my elbows are bruised persistently from it. And it's just so just defeating.
You mean to avoid pain that arises when you stand too much?
Yeah, precisely. So
by the way, do you sing in Hebrew?
What?
Your singing is usually in Hebrew, or do you sing in English?
Oh, I mean, I generally sing in English, but I had to learn the Hebrew lyrics to that song because it was such a beautiful song. We generally on Friday nights would play like like Shabbat music in our house, and in doing so, like I hear
You're Jewish then?
I mean, I'm kind of married into a Jewish family, so yes, we observe, so like Day of Atonement and everything. So we're kind of like cheaters, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not like really super observant, but we try to make a part of our lifestyle to like honor the Sabbath to some extent. Even though I co-host the Friday night happy hour on the ENS happy hour spaces and things.
No, absolutely. This is more about the religious thing, but it's just funny because when you sang, I understand every word. So yeah, that's funny.
That's beautiful. Yeah, my guy. It took me so long to wrap my tongue around the Hebrew and to transliterate it and everything because it's just challenging, you know. But the song is so meaningful to me, you know. It's the hope of standing, such a simple thing, you know. But that's why that gets us back to the topic of the metaverse and why for me, it's a really blessed thing to have friends who I can meet with because you know, that's more difficult for me now. So this is like a real big blessing. I just value the opportunity. It's really special. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
So what do you think? Should we play out some questions? Any questions directly for the bandit himself? Dask is chilling with us. Stuart came up. Stuart, will you jump in, my guy? I love you. I've been missing you, dude. How you been doing? You writing anything fun and creative?
Yo, hey, what's up, n0vax? Oh man, yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff. Actually just on the computer now, and I saw you on, and I missed your voice.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it's good. I'm glad you're doing your thing, you know, and you're so great at these spaces and getting people. I don't want to say like the word networking, but just creating relationships and getting really cool conversations going. And you've been doing it for a minute now, and it's just nice. But yeah, man, I've been super busy with the whole animated musical thing that I've been working on all year, and all the projects that you and I were kind of talking about earlier this year. I kind of had to pivot away once the market shifted and the kind of the dynamic, and all these communities shifted. So a lot of people kind of, a lot of that momentum kind of went away with some of the people that wanted to do things with me. But it was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because I had to kind of get a little bit more, creative problem solving, and now the project and the production company is stronger than ever, and I got more people involved than ever, and yeah, man, it's been great. Just kind of getting back into the Twitter a little bit because I kind of think of this as the place where there's a lot of early adapters in the whole NFT space, doing, and I know a lot of people here don't necessarily know what I'm doing right now, but basically I'm producing an animated musical, and I'm using NFTs to leverage investment opportunities for people that want to support it. One of the things I'm doing is I'm casting people and their NFT, their PFPs into animation productions. But basically, what ended up happening is I was like, okay, I can't just rely on the early adapters, especially at this stage, because the market's really going to dictate how excited they are about this kind of stuff. And that's, for better or worse, you get people involved, and then they kind of go out once, the market went into a bear market. A lot of people I was working with DAOs and different communities and stuff that wanted to invest in stuff. And then, of course, they lost a lot of their net worth. But now what I've been doing is I was forced to think, okay, I don't need to just, NFTs, Web3, it's not just here for the early adapters. It's here, everyone's going to be using them. So I've been really focusing on changing like the sort of the copy, the literature, the way I'm speaking about it. So I'm not using all these words that scare away people that don't really understand Web3 or NFTs yet, but now just trying to communicate to them. And what's been really fun is I've kind of found like through I kind of went hyper local. First of all, like I'm in Orlando, so a lot of great artists in here and stuff that are involved in the project that know nothing about NFTs, and there's a lot of people that want to invest in those artists and everything they do and my project that know nothing about NFTs or Web3. But we all know in this room, like there's some really cool, interesting stuff. There's really cool ways to get people to benefit people that invest in your project early on through these new technologies. So what I did is I have an NFT called and I had something different earlier this year, and like I said, I had to pivot. But now what I'm doing is I'm selling they're access tickets. They look like movie tickets, and they're access tickets, and they give you access to the premiere, all the virtual events and stuff like that. But they also enter you into a raffle to get yourself, like an image of yourself, your likeness, animated and put into the content. Or if you are into NFTs, to get like, you know, your PFP in there. But what's cool is we're bridging the gap now to where I can like just sell those things to people, and they don't even know they're NFTs. They're just buying a raffle ticket. And it's just, you know, that's kind of where I'm at today. That's kind of what's been going on. And I know you and I we're talking about, you know, before we were talking about, you know, getting, you know, applying, pitching things to DAOs, getting funding. So, cause like a lot of the communities wanted their own animation, and I still think that stuff's going to happen, but it's still, maybe we're a little too early on that.
So much we're so early for. You're right though. You're like, you were so right on the money to be tapping into the animation, PFP animation potential, and that's, you could see that's where the big commercial stuff is happening. Even like creeps were just recently announced something right after I sold my creep, and actually I knew it was going to happen, but I was looking for the liquidity for ENS, but and others, you know, are doing more like production type things, and like what you said about changing the orientation from the early adopters to like the mass market appeal, and kind of changing the language so it's not so much full of jargon and things that are like perhaps intimidating to somebody coming out of like Instagram clicking on a post. Oh, really? NFTs, animations? What's that? That sounds fun. Then have everything on that page, something that they can understand easily. I think you're discovering by process of, you know, experiential knowledge, you know, the best way to do this. And there's no, you know, there's no like guideline, right, for how to do it. So you're innovating, and I really respect you for the way that you're going about it. Art Bandit, did you want to chat with Stu or have any comments for him? I noticed you unmuted a couple times there. I think you guys might actually hit it off.
Yeah, I'd be happy to chat afterward. I don't really have any comments. I think that's a very interesting, awesome idea about what you said, a metaverse play.
Yeah. So really, what it is it's going to be the big project right now. It's an animated musical. It's a fairy tale.
Animated music.
It's called Jill and the Super Rad Beanstalk. It's just like a story of Jack's daughter going up to Beanstalk on this whole different adventure, and
Oh,
it is hyper local in terms of like Orlando, right? So I'm doing a lot of I'm doing a lot of live events next year to promote it, and then online events, social media events with all the artists involved, because there's about a dozen local artists involved in it. And then the other thing I'm going to do is for Web3 is people that have like profile characters that want to be in animation, is they can buy either a raffle ticket for a chance to get in there, which is they're only going to be like $5 for a raffle ticket. Of course, the more you buy, the more chance you get. It's a raffle. But then there's also, I'm going to be selling like a guaranteed feature for a little bit more. You know, if you want to kind of really invest, and you'll get like your character in the animation. And we're going to take this on the film festival circuit. Like we want to go like the whole international film festival circuit. You know, I mean, the idea is to make something that is worthy of like a short film in the Oscars, you know, to aspire to that level. And and get some kind of distribution out of it. But what's exciting is, you know, I can give back to so many people that are in the Web3 community, because if you buy the NFT, you're going to get a bunch of other NFTs, like all the limited art that we create. We're going to just gift to people that bought like a casting ticket. And then there's also a producer token. So people that really want to invest like a decent amount of money, they'll get a percent of any profits that we get from distribution and merchandising. So things like that have been done before, but just not really in the Web3 world.
Yeah, that sounds very cool. I am very interested to look deeper into that and see what kind of content you have, just to learn more about what you're doing. I do have friends that are starting DAOs that have a fair membership, so maybe we can work together somehow.
Yeah, I love that. And I find that especially earlier this year when I was doing a lot of Twitter spaces and stuff, a lot of the things that I'm trying to do, they're new, and so talking with people, telling them, hey, this is what I've been spending my time doing, and then finding out if they're in a similar avenue, it becomes very symbiotic a lot of the times. And there is a bunch of concept art. There's a little bit of music and stuff, a bunch more stuff that's going to come out by the end of the year. But my website is in my bio, and you can see all the NFTs that are going to come out. They're not available yet, but they're all up there. And you can
Hey,
see all the art, story, all that stuff. Yeah,
Stu,
that's it.
I gotta know if you have an ENS domain.
Yeah, I do. I got Starcadium Studios ENS .eth.
Awesome.
I got all the different variations. I got Starcadium Store. The whole thing.
Good job. Okay, cool. Because I want to make sure that we can send you a B card. I'm going to invite you to the B card community. B card is going to be a really good networking spot for you with people who have high value NFTs, individuals who might want to have you do an animation production of just them alone. It's all the 4-digit and 3-digit holders who founded this thing. There's 300 or 400 of us, and we're got a lot of really good minds in there who really appreciate you and your authenticity and your creativity. So I want to send
I
you a
love
B
it.
card. I think it's important for you to be a part of this crew.
Yeah, I there's a lot of people in the early adapter circles that I dip in and out of that they're doing the right things. They're building a brand. They're making a little bit of money even, and they need to start. When you're building a brand in this world, you need content creation, and just animation goes hand in hand with what we're doing with all these characters that and whatnot. So, and the branding. And so I know it's going to happen eventually. It's just finding the right people that are willing to be like, okay, let's try our hand at storytelling and make this brand something more than just our little niche community, but like really broadening it out. So that's, I'm looking for those people for sure.
Yeah, I feel you, and they're gonna come too. Especially when the bull market comes, there'll be more of them around again. But in the meantime, building in the bear, you get a few really foundational relationships built during this time, and it's just going to be the game changer. So I'm really excited, and all the IRL stuff that you're doing, kind of analyzing your strategy and pivoting a little bit to a more local thing is, I think, a really cool thing. And not like it's not limiting at all. It's actually what we're realizing is that we have a lack of like rubber meets the road IRL engagement, and so that's
Yes.
what's going to happen, dude. And on that too, I want to say for both of you, Chris, Art Bandit, and Starcadium, this PFP that I always rock in my skull, my hooded skull. So a couple things. First off, I've been made like a community manager of the cyber crypto skulls that he Max, who made these hooded skulls for the Genesis crypto skull holders. He made like the first derivative project, and so I'm a partner on that, and just hosting events for that community and really trying to strategize on how we can bring cyber crypto skulls to the vision of kind of being the representing the future of the crypto skulls community, and doing kind of trying to focus on some metaverse futuristic type of stuff, having scavenger hunts in our on cyberspace and all that. But then in addition to that, if you look at that was one thing I just wanted to update you about, because I want to invite you to hang with us. It's a cool community. It's starting to grow. And then my PFP, I've got the NFA badge over here. We just had the mint for non-fungible art.io. Please check out non-fungible. I'll put the link right here with the team page. It's non-fungible art.io/team. And you can check out my little role there, dude. It's pretty special. Actually, those guys are great. Ronnie and Ronnie Morell and Sydney Richland, who are kind of the money and the power behind NFA. They asked me to be an advisor, a Web3 advisor for them. And Snoop Dogg at that time was also an advisor for the project, because Sid has a relationship with Snoop from making toys with him, from crypto homies, making dolls, different things like that they've done. So now Snoop dude has become a full on strategy partner. So he's gone from being like an advisor to being like an actual partner in NFA. And what is NFA in the first place? Well, we have a IRL location called the Compound in Las Vegas in the Art District, where we've got all these partner projects where we're going to be displaying all their work in our VR gallery and our immersive AR experience gallery, two separate things, the VR gallery and the AR immersive gallery. And so, bro, that's going to be a huge conduit for IRL on the ground onboarding, because in Las Vegas, they intend to have like a couple thousand people a week, foot traffic through the place. So pay attention to NFA guys and just be aware that that's one of those extensions of like IRL onboarding that could be great, because it's like a hub for meta community building, like all the ether things and the punks voxels and the ape voxels or whatever, all the different ones can definitely have a place in that gallery, in those collections, and be seen by all that foot traffic. And I think that, and also we're trying to get it so we have partnered with MetaMask, so we're trying to get it so that we can issue, I registered for them, NFApass.eth, and so we can issue subdomains off of NFA Pass right as people show up.
Nice.
So there's a lot of stuff happening there, and it would be great to have your involvement to some extent, or just your awareness about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for anyone who is like aware that they have an intellectual property and what that actually means, because IP is becoming a commodity now, and that means nothing unless it only means as much as you're willing to build it. Like for example, we're going to take this animated short on the film festival circuit, and in that animated short, there's going to be a couple of World of Women, and there's going to be an ape, right? And nowhere in the credits is it going to say World of Women or ape, but those images are going to be in there, and they're just going to be characters, and the audience isn't going to think, hey, I'm watching an NFT show. They're thinking, I'm just watching a cool cartoon, but the fact is that those characters are in there and they're owned by somebody. And so like that kind of, and not only is it going to be like those bigger ones, I kind of name those because everyone knows who they are, but it could literally be anybody's own characters that they, run like their own Mickey Mouse. And so like the punks voxels are the same thing, the skulls are the same thing. It's their own little IPs.
Even the static stuff that was being made like by Diamond Hands and some of the others in the community, even some of that stuff that was just like a still image collage of PFPs was so inspiring, like in strangely validating to see. It was like, there's my PFP and he's up on the marquee with all the other guys. It's really cool. And so I think there's power in that as a marketing tool for all of us. What we're doing is representing our PFPs, representing our the things that we're passionate about, like adjacent to one another in that way. And then just saying that because it's low effort, it takes little energy to do it. And unless, that your Diamond Hand doing that one mega one with like 1,000 PFPs on it that one time. But imagine how much leverage I get out of that static image as compared to how I would feel about seeing, my PFP fully animated in a scene with like an ape, or with some other, world of, like, you'd just be like, oh, I'm a celeb. My PFP is a celebrity. So that's really neat.
Yeah, or even like the actual next Mickey Mouse cartoon that comes out that Disney makes, whatever. But like that Mickey Mouse now has like your PFP in the same cartoon with it, like you can manage your characters, your intellectual property, just like corporations have been doing for the last several decades. And it doesn't have to just be animation, of course. It can just be, a brand for your business. You could literally just have a drop shipping business where everything's print to order, and you just print your fucking skull on everything, and you have like skull coffee cups and skull shoes and skull shirts, and it's just called like n0vax skull shit, whatever it is, but it's your it's your property. So it's just it's gonna be interesting to see, when these things start popping up in mainstream media, when you start seeing things on t-shirts and it's like, oh, that started off, that's actually an NFT, it's not just, some, traditional intellectual property. That started off as an NFT.
Yeah, that's rad. I want to kind of wrap it up. We go into the 90-minute mark, so I guess we better kind of close up the space pretty quick here. We got like 4 minutes. I want to give everyone an opportunity to chime in and chat. It's been so nice getting to know Art Bandit. It's been really a pleasure catching up with some of my homies in the spot. Make an NFT. Griff just rolled in. Shout out to Griff and Make NFT, one of the coolest dudes in the metaverse you will ever meet. The Dask was coming up to chill and chat and get a word in, and I just really, really feel, very grateful to have all my homies here. So thank you guys. What up, Dask? How you been?
Hey, what's up, n0vax? What's up, n0vax? I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I don't know if I got you a B card yet, but I'm sending them out right now. So let me know if you didn't get one from me.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't checked my wallet, and I've been busy, because I'm with my son over here, and I've been, juggling some stuff. So I've been like listening, like it's a little choppy, but yeah, man. I'll check it in a minute because I'm about to also head to work myself. So I'm gonna hop in the shower and do what I gotta do and just go to work, man. But thanks, I appreciate it, boss. You're the man.
Right on, man. I wish you could have heard this earlier with Art Bandit. He's been telling us about where he's coming from, where his background in art and in music, and he's just a real creative guy. I think he'll be a great addition to our B card community, great addition to our metaverse running community, Jay Griff. So please, guys, connect with Art Bandit. Everyone here, drop him a follow, get in his DMs. Let him know what you're into. And the most important thing, and I'll say this every single dang time, is have a recurring weekly event that you keep, at least a weekly one. If you can have a daily one, then you're just over the top. But if you can keep a consistent like weekly event that you go to, that you attend, or that you host yourself, that you invite other people to attend, that's how we're going to find each other more consistently. We're not going to just bump into each other in the metaverse and go, oh, who is that guy? I didn't see him for so long, whatever. No, I want to be able to say, look, it comes up on my calendar. Okay, there's that one event. That's where I meet with Griff. That's where I know that no matter what, if we don't connect throughout the week, like we're gonna bump into each other over there, and that's where Art Bandit's gonna be. So I don't have that right now. I don't have like certainty that I know where Art Bandit's gonna be, when and where, but I would love to. So if you can try and think about that and what you want to commit to and what you want to do, part of what I'm trying to do with the Cyber Crypto Skulls is to create that infrastructure for us, for all of us. Say on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going into the metaverse together at 2 p.m. because that's when the B card metaverse session is. That's why. It's because I'm just piggybacking on their time slot. I did a survey to figure out what would be best, and it was kind of hung jury on the survey. So I said, okay, we're going to do it at this time because then that's more opportunity for us to meet ambassadors and to grow the community. And plus, it's late in the afternoon, so you don't got to worry about me deginning all night and then sleeping in, being tired in the morning. So a good afternoon time slot is pretty good for me as well. But yeah, with that, we're at the last minute here. Griff's going to come up. Thank you. I didn't see you there earlier, but Griff, you are so wonderful, man. So grateful to be able to speak with the Griff and introduce Griff to everyone. Homie is legend. So let's keep it quick so we can wrap up. But Griff, dude,
n0vax,
welcome.
man, I just wanted to dap you. I myself degened all night. I keep saying I'm going to just shut it down at 3, and then 7 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and I'm like, fuck, here we go again. So I just wanted to shout you out. I definitely just connected with Art Bandit. I'll slide into those DMs. Let's keep that fire going, my guy. We love those vibes. We're building a calendar to get us all on track, but I'll always be laying bricks with you, my friend. Thank you.
Heck yeah. Art Bandit, what do you think, man? Can we let's get us together for a Cyber Crypto Skulls run? Let's get us, and you know what? Let's get you some of that 3D assets. I'm gonna send you some 3D assets over to you ASAP. So yeah, ArtBandit.eth, and you already got your B card over there, and the Dask. I think I'll double, triple confirm that I've got a B card out to you. And then definitely, Stuart, I'm going to send you the Starcadium Studios a B card as well. So please, guys, you need to have 3 B card in order to mint your own. So just be looking for more B cards. Talk to people. You see the B card holders. Say, hey, what's up? I want to know you. I want to get your B card. And then once you have 3, you can go and mint your own. And as soon as you do that, you just hit me back. Try and remember that I was the person who gave you your first B card, and hit me back because every one that I get back, I think I can mint 2 more. So I'm just trying to grow my B card network, and I'm not really trying to like be Tom from MySpace and have all the most B card friends or something. I'm not viewing it that way. There is kind of a competition like that, but I just like a leaderboard. But I'm just mostly doing this because I want to have more depth of relationship, not less. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I want to say about it, is that I'm sort of like not trying to spam out my B cards. That's why I'm doing BTalks, because I want to associate like a face with the name and a voice and a little bit of knowledge about each other before I just go like spamming out B cards. Otherwise, I feel like it subtracts from the meaning. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to make the B card a little bit more meaningful today, Art Bandit, and going the distance, spending the full 90 minutes together. Sorry we didn't link up the first time around. It was my bad. And thank you for being.
No, it was my bad.
Well,
by the way, yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. Feel free to send me any one of these 3D assets, maybe the piano or the pool table or whatever you think is necessary or is appropriate. But
both.
yeah, thank you very much for having me. Anybody that wants to, feel free to send me a message with any kind of educational content or saying hello. I will absolutely send you my B card ASAP. I got like 38 left, and I'll send them. Super quickly. So it was great meeting you guys, and I hope to get to know you more soon.
Right on. Art Bandit, a true hero in the metaverse. True hero. He's already got the B cards on deck. He knows what's up. I didn't realize that when I had originally reached out to you, that you're already on this path. And so I feel like inevitably it's like, what do you say, providential, for just fortuitous that the people that you find in this space are kind of sometimes aware of. It's a smaller space, and you realize like my friends, they already know each other. They're already hanging
And
out.
no, hey, n0vax, by the way, it was actually my bad because I was really scatterbrained and stressed out about the move. And I really was picturing like doing this interview after I had already transitioned, and I kind of had that high, and like I was already stationed out here, and that kind of excitement would come through. I didn't want to do it before I moved. So it was my bad that I had to reschedule with you. So I'm sorry about the delay, man.
Well, it's just how it is. We are always like seriously so flexible. I was like 30 minutes behind this morning on the timekeeper meeting. Like a bunch of people probably waiting for me or wondering what the heck is going on. And I really think that the grace and the the compassion and the understanding of the fact that we're all out here really trying to just have a social experience. Then there's also this financial component to it too, like with the NFTs and the partnerships and the business opportunities. But really, like if you lose sight of that first love, of making a better spot, making a better world, trying to emerge out of the darkness of the polarization of the
Absolutely.
just the vitriol of the last years, and just build again something new that we can leave that stuff behind and actually try to focus on loving and nurturing and understanding, because I think somewhere along the way we all just sort of lost that, and so that's something that Griff and I share in common, that we've been really about trying to just keep the vibes right, just encourage people. When people come in with negativity or some bullcrap, we're kind of pretty quick to just be like, yeah, well, you could do that somewhere else. We're just interested in having a pleasant interaction here. And that doesn't mean we can't go deep. We can definitely talk about some things, but it just means there's a certain maturity about how we talk to each other and how we respect each other. And hopefully Web3 will retain that all the way through. And if we're a part of building that culture and laying those bricks, then I want to be here. And the metaverse is a place that I can feel like, would be a good little home for a lot of us to build our financial future, because retail is going away. Traditional brick and mortar retail is kind of transitioning to, we're going to be selling meta shilling. Shout out my metashills.eth domain, by the way. But we're going to be meta shilling, 3D objects and clothing and AR experiences and Amazon products and everything through these three-dimensional spaces. And it's inevitable. Like once you see it and it clicks for you, then you realize like even though it's a little ways off to reach that full maturity, we are right now on the right path to be very successful, and to have the network of talented and supportive friends to ensure that we can all wog me. So let's go. I'm going to play a little music. Thanks again, everyone, for the chill. This is going to be up on YouTube, probably within like 24, 48 hours. I'm a little backlog because I did like multiple events, and you're only allowed to upload one YouTube video per day with the Audio Labs right now. I already have a message into Ran and a meeting with them scheduled for tomorrow, so I can crank my volume up. I'm like, dude, I need at least like 4 spaces to YouTube video uploads per day. So I don't know. I really don't need that many, but we'll see how it goes. And let's go. I'm going to play us out with a song called Coal. This is a song about my friend who succumbed to heroin addiction in 2009. He was a super good dude, played the bass guitar better than anyone else, a fretless electric bass, a really rare instrument, actually. And he was so much fun to jam with. And I always wondered, how the hell does he just hear everything so perfectly? He's like Jimi Hendrix. He's like got this, like, I don't know, intuitive way. And then after months of knowing him, he revealed to me that, like, he was been checked into rehab. I was like, rehab for what? And, like, he's like, bro, I've been like a hopeless heroin addict. I was like, damn, homie, hit it from me super well. Or I was just really, like, naive and just wasn't looking for it because I didn't know anyone who was into that kind of stuff at all. I was like, what? So anyway, my buddy Cole, man, this song, I found this old recording and I just uploaded it to Doge Party because it meant something to me. It's horribly produced, it's horribly performed. It's a little bit embarrassing, but it's a part of reconciling my past and understanding, like, where I want to go in the future with my art and music. And so Griff and I share that in common too, that's a part of grappling with our art. And I hope that you guys can appreciate what I'm trying to do with this. But more than anything, I hope this bad music helps you realize, damn, we really need to get n0vax some damn tracks, like some DJ tracks or something. And I can't be buying everyone's music to play it on the radio show. I'm trying to promote people, you know what I'm saying? So look at my wallet balance. I'm not trying to spend, like, 0.02 1,000 times on every track I play out here. So I'm going to keep playing my music until I'm promoting myself on Doge Party until somebody shows up and says, yo, here's play my tracks. But I want that. I really do. And I'll shill them hard. I'll be like, this track is epic. Here's where you get it. But I just want the homies to know that, like, I can't, like, if I'm going to serve as a music promoter like that, like, I just can't be, like, buying all the music. You got to send it to me at least, at the very least. I mean, I'll send it back to you even if you want. But if I'm going to promote you like this in this context, let's keep it, reasonable, right? So I'll promote you for free, but I will not pay to promote. And I just, like, when I was in my band, I did not pay to play either. It's just bad business. So anyway, thank you guys. Let's jam the song Coal from 2009.
You must really go and do it now. Hardest time of your life. Longest trial for your soul. Whoa, oh, oh, as you're feeling something seeping into your bones, only lost the illusion. Got your mind in it now. Going back, no, 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 no. You make your choice, you're not proud. But you come and go now. There's no end in sight, only the dimming light. Burning more. Shadow of the needle in the cool breeze of the air. I cannot free you from this rusty cage, hypodermic barricade. Masquerade that started as a ball. My words fall on the floor. Our phone call for more.